Hey everybody, this is Lord Ogün, Blakk Metal Knights Productions, and I'm here sitting down with HVILE KAOS, and we're going to talk about the band and some history, and some of the music, and about some other things.
Hey, thanks for having me here.
How you doing, Christopher?
Doing great, great.
Kakophonix.
Greetings.
Yes. HVILE KAOS. What does the name HVILE KAOS mean?
HVILE KAOS means rest in chaos. When I first formed the project, I was really, geeking out on dissection, and how people are all like, rest in chaos, master not right, and I was, super stoked on this awesome band I just discovered, and I know he was Swedish, but it's in Norwegian, so just because I thought it sounded cooler in Norwegian, because I was a dumb kid, but it's, that's, the name carries that significance not only of dissection being a huge inspiration, but also what he was motivated by, being the same force that HVILE KAOS is motivated by.
Awesome. And the band HVILE KAOS, when did it start? How did it start?
It started in 2011, summer, I think it was June 2011. I just finished my freshman year in college, and I just had gotten done with a really bad band breakup. Actually, I think as I recall, there were some death threats and some stalking and shit involved. They saying we're gonna go back to our nut car, get a knife and fucking throw down. So yeah, I just gone through with that, and it was I was all pissed because that had been such a disaster that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna I know what I want. I'm not gonna wait for anyone. I'm just gonna record some shit and fucking do what I want my way. So I started multi-tracking my cello in my room, and I had some demos on the internet, and then I got back to school and started putting together groups for this and that event to play HVILE KAOS stuff at school, and then it just kind of stuck. And then by early 2013, I had an EP out.
Awesome. And tell us about your song themes.
The themes.
What are the themes about?
Well, the album Agios Ophotia, every track is has a correspondence to a specific deity, a deific archetype, deific mask, I suppose, if you want to put it in those terms. And so this record was the first one where everything had a specific literal character like that. The previous work deals more with general concepts of death, the beyond, transcendence, more existential stuff, but it all goes back, both the older stuff and the more recent work goes back to the same source.
Okay, sounds good. And how do you go about writing songs in your music?
Contrary to popular belief, I'm not this, despite all the training I've had, I'm not this theory head. All the ideas I always start with are pretty basic. I always start with a riff or a chord progression or just a basic motive that has a certain character. And as the piece develops, not only do other ideas conglomerate and become sort of part of the mesh, but also the character really takes shape, and the message, what I'm trying to communicate becomes ingrained. But it all starts with a really simple idea.
Which is the basic root that you base your music on? What is it?
The best way to describe it would be the hunger of the individual to usurp divine power, and the collective hunger of the whole of not just the species, but all of life and existence itself to evolve into something higher than what it is. And what I draw on is the source that underlies all of that, and also motivates any art with any real substance.
Awesome.
That's probably the best way to put it in layman's terms.
What are some of the best shows that HVILE KAOS has played?
Well, at the moment, honestly, I'd say the last three have been pretty successful.
Yeah.
The show we just had at the Blacklight on the 14th with that was our first headlining show in the area. I believe
It was Goliath.
It was us, and then Goliath,
Black Elk,
Withermoon, and then Emerson Sinclair, who plays violin in HVILE KAOS, did a solo set.
Withermoon, and Emerson Sinclair.
Yeah.
Now, I'm kind of veering off the question list here, but you guys are also performing in the One Man Metal Fest.
Correct. I'm really stoked for that. We did it last year. That was certainly a welcome event, a welcome opportunity. Enjoyed playing with everyone, and always I enjoy playing an opportunity to play with SWARTWOUD. also with Morphesia, and if they play again this year, that'd be awesome. But I know I'll get to play with you, which I'm really stoked for. And it's Emerson Sinclair is also playing that show with us, and
I'm excited about that, man.
Also Dying Messiah. I haven't played with him since like 2013. He's really good.
Well, a bunch of
not Dying Messiah. No, I'm thinking of. I'm not thinking
Through
of
These Gates.
Through These Gates.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the Michael Pendergrass experience.
Yeah, he's gonna be there.
Fucking awesome. Yeah, no, Through These Gates is sick.
What have you ever thought, like, for really KAOS, what would be the ideal bill? Like, what bands would you say you want to play with?
Ideally, anything that I feel like a good black metal bill has a unifying like ideological like theme or underpinning. So for us, I'd say, I'd like to play at a festival like, Prog Death Mass or something. And the bands I'd like to play with, just to name a few that are active today that could be appropriate, would be like Thy Dark and Shade, Chaos Invocation, maybe like Nightbringer, and then also to just to change it up a bit, something more like rock based, maybe play with like Year of the Goat.
Cool. And do you have any touring plans in the works?
Not immediately. We actually have done only one tour, and that was actually out in New York, like upstate New York, like Jamestown area.
Oh wow, New York. Huh?
And it was pretty weird. It was very. It was like an Amish country.
Really?
It was an Amish country, and we were all little dickheads. So we were, we were in the Walmart and we saw a bunch of like Amish chicks, like, cruising in to buy their groceries, and we were like, okay, draw the straw, and whoever gets the short straw, like, has to ask the Amish girl out.
Amish chicks. I can't
Yeah.
even imagine that.
Yeah, and some of them were kind of cute and like
Sounds adventurous.
and very wholesome.
Are they anything like Christian chicks?
Well, strictly speaking, I guess they're Christian, but they're like. They're like Anabaptist, fucking living in like the 1690s, like, but
Yeah. No electricity.
no electricity, no buttons. They
No
have to do
fire?
iron hook. It's all iron
Or
hook.
did they use fire?
I think they use fire.
I
think
don't Satan, man.
but no fucking gas.
Yeah, no gas, no electricity. Do they wear underwear? I'm just kidding, man.
I don't know. No,
I wouldn't know, man.
That's a little. I've never asked myself these questions.
So when you work with your stage musicians, with the HVILE KAOS, when you ever have any kind of band conflict, how do you deal with it, if any?
Honestly, band conflict. I know this sounds too good to be true, but band conflict usually resolves itself, actually, because I guess it's the way I have the band set up. It's less like a conventional metal band and more like a composer-led ensemble.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm the composer and they're my performers. It's more like a classical model, actually. But
That works.
they understand that I'd like do the same thing for them in a heartbeat. Like Emerson or Brent or Sam. I know they all write their own music, and I'd play on their projects as soon as and do whatever is needed to the same degree I expect of them. So that's how the model works so well. However, we have had a couple, people in the past who I won't name who have had like kind of a pissy attitude, and like, to be honest, they usually show themselves the door. Yeah. They usually just sit in the corner and sulk, and then just come up with an excuse to leave the band. And I'm like, cool, that took care of that.
Makes sense.
So yeah.
So if there's a bad fire, you just kind of let it down, it'll die by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. That works. Why black metal?
Well, that begs the question, can you really consider HVILE KAOS black metal? I always have. I've always considered it really, part of that aesthetic.
It's got a darkness to it.
It's got a darkness to it, and I feel like I formed the band partially to communicate what I like about black metal in like a separate kind of format, in a different, just a different format. And some people will swear up and down this isn't black metal. They've said to me, don't call it that. It's not metal, and like
metal elitist.
I guess, and I'm a metal elitist too. I don't even try.
Everybody's got their own rules, but I mean, to me, at the end, HVILE KAOS is sort of a atmospheric black metal, instrumental. And I listen to a lot of atmospheric black metal. I also listen to heavy stuff, but I respect it for its value in that. So to me, it's black metal.
Thank you. Anyway, to answer your question though, why black metal? Well, because I feel like not only can I relate to just the darkness and the melancholy and the solitude in my own way, but I also like feel like there's a very strong ideological underpinning. Again, going back to that motivating source behind everything and nothing. That I feel like black metal is such a, when performed right, is such a perfect, way of expressing, a way of giving a voice to that. And so I pick it because it complements my worldview in a way like I don't feel any other style really could, personally.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you, what was the first instrument you ever played?
Well, I'd say cello, but we all had to play recorder in like 3rd grade, and then I tried to play bagpipes when I was 6 and couldn't play one note. So I guess we solidified I'm not a winds guy. But yeah, I started playing cello when I was 9, and shortly after that I started playing guitar, but that's always been more of a secondary instrument for me. Again, that's more just a foundational like songwriting tool. The cello has really always been my primary instrument since I've been taking music seriously.
Love the cello.
Thank you, as do I. It's great. It's just a great way to express myself.
If you could play any other genre, what would it be?
Well, that question's kind of taken care of itself because I already do play a lot of other genres. I mean, I'm in school, so I'm finishing my master's right now, so I have to do a lot of classical. We're doing a concert with Beethoven 9, and then Jennifer Higdon. Actually, the day after our show with Hordem Rife, we're doing, like, May 4th is Hordem Rife, and May 5th is the Beethoven and Jennifer Higdon concert. So nice. I actually do like playing that kind of music a lot. I played with a Nirvana cover band for a while, to like Nirvana-ish, Orange County's premier Nirvana cover band.
Oh yeah.
I played with them, and because they had cello live. Nirvana did, right before Kurt offed himself. So I made sure to deliver those parts whenever they did their acoustic sets as best I could.
Cool, man. What are like the top 5 artists on your playlist right now?
I really like Tribulation. I really, really fucking like Tribulation. Both the Children of the Night album and then the one they recently did, Down Below, I really, really dig. I just really dig their work, even further back with the, what is that? Formulas of Death album. It's just a great death metal record. But apart from Tribulation, Grave Pleasures, I've been jamming some Grave Pleasures. Black Reaper, a band from China who I've been fortunate enough to do some session work for. It's kind of like Dissection meets like early In Flames. It's really, really solid. He's someone I agree with pretty strongly on a lot of, spiritual or metaphysical points. So that's 3. Unearthly. Unearthly is a is a less known black and death metal band from Brazil. They're not together anymore, but I really like their stuff. And a 5th one, Deathspell Omega. You can never go wrong with Deathspell Omega.
Yeah. Nice. Tell us a bit about your gear that you use.
Well, I have 2 different rigs, one for studio and one for live. In studio, I record on a really pretty old French cello from 1901, Paris. Geronimo Barnabetti was the maker. It's a really nice instrument. The French always built those cellos tough because they would put them on like cargo ships to send to their like penal colonies they had in South America.
Wow.
Apparently the prison ward had needed a cello. So there's that. My main bow that I use right now is my Coda bow. It's actually carbon fiber, but I have it with black horsehair rather than white because black hair is tougher and gets a nicer grittier sound.
Plus it's more black metal.
Yep, it's black horse. So that, as far as my digital audio workstation is concerned, I actually just use GarageBand because it's just really easy and I don't really need to do anything complicated. There's barely any production on my stuff.
Not many effects over the...
No, like some reverb and like a master preset that just makes the sound bigger and that's it.
Very raw and organic.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking raw.
I love that, man.
So we got that and I go through a Focusrite Scarlett interface, pretty basic, but it gets the job done. And then my pride and joy when it comes to my studio setup would be my Bluebird condenser mic.
No, condenser mic.
It's a really nice condenser mic and has served me quite well throughout the years.
And how close would you say is the ideal length to put the mic towards this cello?
Oh, I mean, there's a bunch of different schools of thought on that, but what I do is say, like, I'm sitting here and I got my cello and here's the fingerboard. I put it like maybe 8 inches away parallel to the fingerboard.
45 degrees?
Or no, just parallel. So here's the fingerboard, here's the mic.
Okay.
Like that. It's a nice setup.
Nice.
And yeah, so that's my live rig. In studio, that's my studio rig. Sorry, it's my studio rig. My live rig is my the cello I have is honestly kind of a piece of crap. It's like this. It's just kind of a beater I got because the one I had in high school got sat on by my brother, and he like fucking crushed it. So like we got this other cello that's like basically made of plywood, but it's held up pretty well. And I use a David Gage Realist. It's a copper transducer pickup that just goes underneath the bridge, and then I run that to an LR Baggs DI box, and then that to a reverb pedal. What's the reverb pedal I use? It's the TC Electronics Hall of Fame. Yeah, I bought that off my old bandmate. Okay. And that's I have it set on like a church kind of reverb setting to get the more arcane sound.
Nice.
And then I run that just into a volume pedal and out to the PA. I just DI all the time.
Awesome. Where do you see HVILE KAOS 5 years from now?
Ideally doing a much more advanced version of the same thing. Putting out records that are more developed than the work I'm able to produce right now.
Bigger ensemble?
Not necessarily a bigger ensemble, but more developed in just the ideas are better developed. Maybe experiment with some different sounds apart from the ensemble I have. Maybe like, at least by ensemble I mean like the instruments I have in studio.
Right.
Like maybe experiment with some different instrumentations or some different arrangements. I can see myself hopefully playing bigger shows and touring when and where and it's like actually makes sense. Not necessarily touring before we're ready, but I'd like to be touring how and where it counts, I suppose. And just maybe making more of a splash, I guess, and reaching more people.
Somewhere near a forest. That's the next question. Like, if you could tour 3 countries, only 3, where would you tour?
Honestly, I'd like to play in Canada.
Canada?
I'd like to play in Quebec because the scene up there is pretty nuts right now.
Okay.
Maybe also France. The French black metal scene, particularly with like the whole orthodox black metal movement, is very is very on the up and up right now. And if I had to pick a Scandinavian country, I'd pick Sweden, just purely because of what's going on in Uppsala. There's like a great roster of bands come out of Uppsala right now.
Oh yeah.
So like we just had Watain come through, and they're from Uppsala, and then they had HVILE. They're more death metal, but they're still part of that whole culture. They're also from Uppsala, and I know In Solitude were before they disintegrated. I know I know that the Watain and HVILE guys have another band called Unpure. So it's like to be in the thick of all that would be really nice.
Yeah, totally. Do you have any new upcoming albums, or what's the newest album you have out?
Well, right now, the latest record is Agios Ophotia. That was released October 2017.
Say that again?
That was released October 2017.
The title of the album?
Agios Ophotia. It's Greek for Oh Holy Fire.
Greek for Oh Holy Fire. Okay.
And it's that was released on October 2017 via Deathwave Nexion, and that's I think our most successful release so far. But the next record's actually already written. It's a multi-movement work that I wrote back in my undergrad that I'm revisiting and bring it up to the level of quality that of something I would write now.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing what I can do with it, because I know I felt they were good ideas at the time. I just know that I could develop them better.
Cool. If you could talk to yourself before you started playing music, what would you say to yourself?
Leave as big of a crater in your wake as possible. Just cause some fucking chaos and don't apologize for it. That's what I'd say.
That's the HVILE KAOS, right?
Yeah,
nice.
But that's just who I am, I guess.
Have you ever had to deal with any groupies or hangers-ons, people that don't leave you alone?
Sort of. They're more just people who are really like super moved by what they heard live or into the records and are just really, really like fanatically into it. And that's okay. That's like really good. Not only do I take that as a personal compliment, but it also says that I'm closer to my goal of creating a kind of a culture of like fanaticism and extreme devotion. Not to me. I'm not trying to be like Jim Jones or anything right now. Not like, you know.
Hey,
like,
what's some Kool-Aid?
Yeah, Billy Kool-Aid.
Really Kool-Aid.
Yeah, no. I'm not trying to do that, but more just extreme devotion to like, again, that source, that dimensionless, free, uninhibited, motivating force that some may call chaos or any number of other things, or even just darkness would be a perfectly valid word, but no words can describe that source, and I'm just trying to use the music to reach people and create a fanaticism towards that. So if they exhibit, you know, quote unquote groupie type of behavior, I don't really care, because I take it as a compliment, because they're like, it means that I'm doing my job right.
Cool. Last question. When and with who is your next show?
We've got several live shows coming up. Do you mind if I go down the list?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the next one is pretty soon. It's on May 4th at the 5-Star Bar in Los Angeles. We're playing with Hordem Rife from Norway. Originally, the headliner was going to be Nargaroth, but they had visa issues, so they had to cancel the tour, unfortunately. But Hordem Rife stepped in to do the tour. And then the local support bands we're playing with, Cold Void is direct support, and Quasar and Vomit Beast. So we're playing with all those cats.
Nice.
That's going to be a good night. 5-Star Bar, Los Angeles, Friday, May 4th. Then after that, on June 8th, we're playing with Insomnium, and I'm really stoked for that one, because I was a huge Insomnium fan, like in my undergrad.
At Malone's, right?
At Malone's in Santa Ana. So Insomnium, and then they're bringing this new band, Oceans of Slumber, through with like,
Oceans of Slumber.
Yeah, this like kind of how would I describe them? It's sort of a gothic death doom with sort of a prog twist. I don't know. They're good. They did a really good Moody Blues cover, but so we're playing with them and a fuck ton of other bands. I'd have to like check to see who else we're playing with.
Yeah.
I know we're playing with Voices of Ruin. I know we're playing with Anselm. I know we're playing with Lazarus Casket.
Anselm,
Valkyrium, yeah.
Lazarus Casket.
Who else?
Voices of Ruin.
And Voices of Ruin. And I think, and Nyctophile. Nyctophile's playing that night. I think that's it. So there's that, and then of course we're playing One Man Metal Fest on July 7th, correct?
July 7th, yes sir.
And that's at Fern's Cocktails in Long Beach.
Yep.
And we're playing with Emerson Sinclair, and we're playing with SWARTWOUD, and we're playing with Dying Messiah is on that show, correct?
Yep.
And then
3D's Gates.
Yes, fuck yes, 3D's Gates. Dead Habib.
In Silent Agony.
In Silent Agony. Oh yeah, I did some session work with that guy. It's I'm stoked to have him
crazy
play
man.
Live.
It's gonna be a good year for
he's a good dude.
So far for black metal.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's been a rough year in a way, because you know we got Antifa and fucking all these like hack journalists coming after us, but like journalists. Yeah, no, there are only a few good journalists are actually out there, and I'm fortunate to know a few of them. But like, when it comes,
we
to
all
metal,
gotta make a living, right?
When it comes to metal, but like, but they're out people who are clearly out there to spoil our right to make a living.
I'm just not a big fan of people who judge before they really know what's going on.
Yeah, it's like, people are too quick to act before they think, and not the other way around. Yeah. So but black metal, I mean, let's make no mistake, black metal is fucking war. Black metal is a fucking weapon. It's a weapon on your fucking mind. It's a weapon on your sensitivities, and obviously these fucking kids who have been raised to think that that society is just going to coddle them, and that like the the world is going to dance around to their sensitivities, aren't going to really be into something like black metal.
No, that's black metal's not for them.
No, it's really not. It's like, it's fine if it's not for you. I have plenty of
there's other music to listen to.
Yeah, no, like most of the people at my conservatory fucking hate extreme music.
It's like, all I'm gonna say is, I really appreciate you sitting down with me today, really.
Of course.
Black metal is what it is, and for me, I mean, if you don't dig black metal, whatever you do, don't fuck with the people who like black metal, because you don't want to fuck with those people.
No.
End of story.
Yeah, no. So if in essence, if you're afraid of black metal, good. Stay the fuck away and leave us alone.
Kakophonix.
Hey, thank you. The honor is mine. No, thank you. I really appreciate this opportunity to sit down and talk candidly with you. I respect the fuck out of what you do, both with SWARTWOUD and the Blakk Metal Knights Productions.
Thank you, bro.
And it's good to, I can't think of anyone I'd rather do this interview with. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Hey, it's been another interview with Blakk Metal Knights Productions, and this is Lord Ogün. I'd like to thank HVILE, Kakophonix, for sitting down today and doing this interview.